Hey guys, my name is Attorney Walter Rudolph, not the third, and I am live tonight. Sorry for running a little bit late. We are at 8:18 p.m., but no biggie. Here's the deal. I'm going to go through the intros relatively quickly. We've already missed a bunch of phone calls because we're starting about 18 minutes late. I had to restart the program because the microphone wasn't plugged in, but we're ready to start now. Okay, let's go ahead and take a quick moment real quick. All right, so I want to go ahead and introduce some of the basics. Over here is the company I started 8 years ago that I've been working at for 8 years. Very successful disability law firm, Disability Resolution PA. Yay. But here's what I'm really excited about over here, spaceconstitution.com. The trailer is almost ready. The website is almost ready. I know I'm always like another week, but the bottom line is it's almost ready to go. And when it does, it's going to be a huge thing. It's going to be the first open source constitution for people to write in whatever rights and freedoms they want. Howdy, guys. Good to see you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and call our first caller to go ahead and kick us off a little bit and get things rolling. Here we go. Hold on. Okay. 1 second. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and call this person. And then once we get them on the line, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to speakerphone. I'm going to make sure that they use a fake name. That way they don't give away their real name. So here we go, guys. Oh, let me try again. Hold on. Let's see what we got. And let me put the phone number in here. So if this phone number doesn't work out, you can go ahead and switch to the next one. There we go. Perfect. All right, guys. And that's the phone number you call into for me to go ahead and... Okay, perfect. So that person's phone, I guess, is not working. We did miss other phone calls. Here we go. Okay, I tell you what. Making this fair, because last time I didn't really do it fair. I just called whoever I wanted to. Whoever wants to call in, that's the phone number you use to go ahead and call in. And then we can run hearing questions. I can answer questions about specific disability issues that you have, or even general legal questions if you have them. So we'll go that route. Now, with that said, I have a bunch of new videos that are going to be coming out. But the big focus is to finish the remaining couple of videos that need to be recorded for the top 200 Social Security disability hearing questions that you're likely to hear in an ALJ hearing. When I'm done with that video, with all those videos, the top 200, so 200 videos, then at that point, I'm going to switch over to going ahead and basically making an intro video that has every single question all in one video. So you can kind of see where those top 200 questions are going. Howdy, guys. Howdy, Florida couple. Howdy, 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 garden. All right, so real quick here, what I'll do is I'll go ahead, and then, of course, nobody's calling in. That's that. All right, so while this is going on, I'm going to take this moment to go ahead and basically go through some of the future things that are going on in the Social Security disability field. It is expected that one of the last companies to reopen to in-person hearings will be the Social Security disability hearing offices. It is expected that realistically there will also be new programs coming out related to how hearings are conducted by using what's called the National Hearing Center. The National Hearing Center is basically a giant mega building with lots and lots and lots of hearing offices. And that's all telephonic, where basically video telephonic, where you will go ahead and, oh, we got a caller. Let me get this call real quick. Hold on. Okay. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott with Disability Resolution PA. Make sure you use a fake name for this live session. And would you like me to go ahead and run hearing questions with you, or would you like me to go ahead and answer a specific question that you have?
I had sent you a email regarding some questions with a rep payee. I don't know if this is the best time to ask those questions.
Okay, so
I'm not sure if I've...
Yeah, you're actually live right now. Would you like me to go? What you can do is, if you shoot me a text to this phone number, I can go ahead and look up that email, read it, and then kind of catch up back with you after that point, if you like.
All right, that would be fine.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hang up the phone, shoot me a text, I'll go find the email, and then from there, I'll give you a call back.
Okay, how do I text this number?
Yeah, you're just going to text that number.
Okay. All right, thank you much.
Perfect, sir. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. I'll wait for that text to come in. A lot of people have been sending me these rather really, really big emails. So try to keep your emails as tiny as possible. Try to summarize as much as you can, because what I tend to get are these massive, massive emails. And it's really tough for me to go through all those when I have to write a million briefs, call a million people back, etc. Okay, so there's another thing that I wanted to go through real quick, which is that basically if there are particular videos that you guys want me to do throughout this session, go ahead and put the caps lock on and put them into the chat session. And let me know specifically what videos you want me to go ahead and create in the future. There's a ton already on a list, but if you have specific ones that you want me to cover, that would be great. Thank you so much. Yes, these are the new glasses. Absolutely love them. Indeed, indeed. I can finally see again. Perfect. Medical marijuana, good or bad? So medical marijuana isn't really an issue like it was back in the day. So long as you have your medical marijuana card, we all call it the green card, then it's not too big of a deal. And the reason why is that you are medically prescribed that particular drug. And for that reason, not a big deal. Let me get this call coming in. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott with Disability Resolution PA. We are. Oh, I guess we just lost it. Boy, we're having a tough time with the phone calls today. Give me 1 second, Roo. Let me call this person back. Here we go. Thank you, good sir. I really like the shades. We'll go over payments a little bit later. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott. We are live on YouTube right now. Oh, hold and accept. Let's try this one. Okay. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott. We are live on YouTube. Would you like me to go ahead and run hearing questions with you or answer a specific question? And please remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Hello. It's going to be one of those kind of days, guys. It's going to be one of those kinds of days. All right. So Seattle, Washington. I don't know what's going on with your phone. Oh, how to set up a special needs trust. You have to hire one of us to do that because we have to go in and basically give you the template language. We have to fill in all the details. It's not really as easy and simple as you might think. Let me try to get this phone number again. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott. Can you hear me? Oh, no biggie. Okay, I'm putting this on speakerphone. Remember, we are live, so use a fake name. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead?
Yes, right.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay, my name is Bunny. That's what I'm going by today, and I'm calling. I'm have questions about ticket to work. Last time I went one day over, and I ended up having to pay back every dime that I received, which was like $40,000 to Social Security. And I'm trying to figure out what the new rules and stuff are regarding that. Going back to work if you have disability or how long, has they changed or stuff? I don't want to go through it again.
So and I think this is where your question's going to. Where are the laws at right now, and then what are the laws expected to change to now that Biden's being president? All right, so basically the laws are right now. Now you had a ticket to work before, or you're looking to go into the ticket to work program?
No, I had it before, and I screwed up because I went one day over, and I told them.
Okay,
and
gotcha.
I had to pay, ended up cutting me off and having me pay all of it back, which I did. But it was hard.
No, I can imagine.
And so now I'm back on disability again, and I'm even more debilitated than before. But I'm still trying to, be self-employed, do something and stuff because I don't want to be on disability. And I'm at the age where if I don't work, I won't have a retirement. So.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so let me ask you this: you went over, you had to pay it back. You want to go on to it? I'm assuming again, and then work your way off of it. Is that the goal? Okay. So here's
exactly.
Gotcha. Okay, so here's kind of the bottom line with this whole situation. They change the contractual agreement pretty much every year or every other year. So if you're looking for, what the new laws are and things like that, I mean, it's one of those gigs where you have to bring that contract to an attorney and then have them review it with you to go over all the little details. The rules, for the most part, for the past 2 years have stayed the same that I've noticed. Biden is expected to go ahead and raise the financial amounts. So are you SSI or SSDI?
DI.
Okay, gotcha. So Biden basically is likely to put in a lot of new rules and regulations for SSDI people, where he's going to raise the SGA amount. He's going to change likely how COLA is calculated, which is in your favor. And then basically, now let me ask you this: what are you getting per month via the what are you getting per month on your SSDI?
$1,043.
All right, so that's pretty standard. Yeah. Okay. So the national average is around 1,200, but the bottom line is most people get that. Now, how old are you currently?
59.
Okay. And what about the husband? Has he passed away? Are you able to tap into his benefits?
I'm not married, and I've been in school for the last 6 years while we cover learning how to walk and stuff for international business and finance. So.
Okay. So have you graduated yet, or are you about to graduate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And
I'm about to. I got 1 more year.
Okay. So, all right, as a side thing here, realize that is going to definitively, at this point, trigger a CDR. Yeah, and I'm sure you know what CDR is, right? Yeah, okay, cool. Which means that you're definitely going to want to get into the protection of a 5-year ticket to work program because, unfortunately, when that CDR gets triggered, you actually have protections usually inside that ticket to work program from them kicking you off by graduating from school. So now walk me through, what is the expectation? You're going to get a job in the field and you're going to use that as part of ticket to work?
Yeah, I've already linked up with DBR. I'm working to be self-employed. That's the hopes and stuff. And I'm still in the preliminaries because of COVID. I had just started when COVID broke out, and then I ended up getting COVID. And then
Gotcha.
And then the lockdown.
Have you noticed? Have you noticed any bias when applying for or starting the beginning process for a second round of Ticket to Work program?
Yes.
Okay. Tell the listeners about the bias because it's something that a lot of people don't know about. There's no videos on it. Tell people about the bias you're experiencing on a second go around of trying to get on the Ticket to Work program.
They're real resistant to having you. How can I say this? They're a lot more. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you ready for this or whatever? Because if you don't, they kind of scare you a little bit. It's kind of weird. It's like they want you to get off, but they don't. I don't know how to explain that. I mean, that's I've ran into a lot of other weird stuff too. So, but I don't know if it's because of Seattle or what. But it's not very and you get told different things by different people. Like one person told me something different, said I could do something and I couldn't do. Another person told me something like that. No, that's not even possible. So I was like, what? So that's why I'm like so confused.
I tell you what, do this.
I did it before.
Yeah, grab the Ticket to Work program contract, shoot me an email with it, and then next session, the next live session, call me up, and what I'll do is I'll basically go through the contractual details with you, like kind of bullet point by bullet point, because I feel like I've never seen a video on YouTube specifically going through and outlining what the Ticket to Work program is. Yeah. Now, here's another question I have for you. With the first Ticket to Work program, when you signed up, were you given a copy of the agreement that you signed?
No. And when I got the petition to petition it, it was late. I was part of the, you know how you get the 60 days or whatever? It was late.
Yeah. Okay. So, and that's another thing, guys, make sure when you sign your Ticket to Work program that you get a copy of it, because the problem is they keep it, they give you like a little like summary. It's almost like a little class. Yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, okay, walk them through it. Tell them about the Ticket to Work program, what your experience was, and what the emotional context was as you were beginning to file for it, as you were accepted for it, and then when you were in it. What was it like?
It was like, okay, everything was going good. I was making some pretty decent money and stuff, but I was making 3 times what I was receiving at the time, which was like $800, $900 something dollars, and so it was time. It was almost time, right? So I go go into the office, do the paperwork and stuff like that, and I got, like I said, I filled it all out and stuff. I got the little piece of slip back saying, okay, you're signed up, whatever. Then you have to bring in your show proof of your pay stubs and all that other stuff. And I did all that and stuff, and then when the day I was supposed, I don't know how I got mixed up, but the day I took my stuff in, the day after I was supposed to, and that's when everything fell apart. That's when I just got slammed with all kinds of information. Your benefits are going to be cut off, and and at the time I had the reason I went in is because I found out that my spine, I had some issues with my spine that I didn't know that were causing sciatica. Mm-hmm. And so I was about to back away from it, but they wouldn't allow me to do it. They just said the heck with it. You passed that date, and that's the end of it. And now you have to start all over. Well, it took me 8 years after that to get back on.
Okay.
So it was crazy. It was a lot of ups and downs.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't explain it well enough. They give you this little piece of paper and a little pamphlet, and you're kind of left on your own in a way. And then it's basically punitive. Everything's about punitive. It's not about information. That's the best I can explain it.
So when you were in it, did they give you updates throughout the process? Did they tell you how things were changing, or was it just like you were doing your thing and then basically boom, you got hit?
Yep. That's exactly it. And even though you ask for information, like I'm doing you, I was constantly asking because I didn't want to mess up. Mm-hmm.
Now,
and you're still left out there hanging.
I want to go into this because this is super important for everybody. When you went to go sign up, could you sign up with just anybody at the field office, or did they have to be particular people?
It was a particular person.
Okay. And that particular person, were they always at that field office, or did you have to set up special appointments?
You had to set up a special appointment, and that could take up a while.
And give me a walkthrough. When you first met with them to go ahead and go through it, how much time did they take to explain the contractual agreement that you were signing?
Probably 5 to 10 minutes. To be totally honest with you, maybe 15, because I kept asking a question. And I know she could tell that I was puzzled by what she was saying. I was like, I'm really confused.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because the way she looked at me.
Okay, gotcha.
It wasn't very long at all. It's kind of like they give you the false impression that is this what they're really trying to do, or they're just really limited. Like the people they do have are not trained as well as you would think they are. Maybe that's the best way to say it. Because, like I said, when I talked to, there was 2 people that you could go to, and when I talked to one person, I got something different from the other person, and so, I was like, oh my gosh, what is it really? And you don't know who to go above their head, or to go to somebody else. You don't even know what to ask for to get the right information.
Did you?
They can hang me.
Yeah. Did you ever have to reach out to the regional office to get a correction on something?
I did, but I didn't know how to do it. Like I said, once that you get shut down, they come at you. They really do. It's all hands on deck.
Yeah. I think I guess you're just making more of the point where I really need to maybe next live, maybe I'll do a video on it or something. Go through how the Ticket to Work program works, because online they don't have much information on it, and we attorneys, we get access to a lot of the DDS documents and local FO office and regional office and hearing office forms that other people just don't have, because we utilize them. We have to review them in order to adjudicate. So I feel like there's a lot of things. I feel like the Ticket to Work program, and what a lot of people don't realize as well, is that there's a bunch of programs out there. Ticket to Work program is a big one, but there's a lot of other programs that people can tap into that nobody talks about. Yeah, no, I know. I have to do a series of videos on them. I started to do a series of videos on them.
That would be fabulous.
Yeah, I know. I started to do a series of videos when I was actually around Bar Harbor. And then I just never got back to doing it because there's so much information that has to be. And to be honest with you, I am like hardcore ADHD when it comes to making these videos. Like if I don't have a script or if I don't have a top 10, I'll just talk for like 2 hours and then end up on why ponies should be given unicorn horns or something. I'll just end up in some weird place, All right. So I should do videos on that. In order to answer specifically what you're asking me, this is what I would say. I do not see a lot of movements with bills. And I've even got a couple of bills, and bills are basically what we have before they turn into law. But I've got a couple of bills surrounding me right now that I've been researching and going through, specifically from Congress's websites, that would change the rules and regulations. And some of them are specifically related to the Ticket to Work program. Now, I would like you to define, and I'm just going to kind of help you out, put some of my knowledge into it. I'd like you to define what the Ticket to Work program meant to you while you were on it.
It was great. It gave me an idea. It gave me a game plan to exit. If I had more information to do it correct, the more information you have, the better you could do at it. I didn't have as much information as I would like to have. So in a way, I kind of failed myself in a way because of that. So that's why I say the more information you have, the more, just keep pressing. If you don't understand something, just keep pressing, because if you don't, it'll be, ignorance does not bliss in a situation. It will hurt you in the long run. I think that's the best I could say about it. The more, and know what you want. You know, how much money do you want to be making? How much your expenditures? You actually do a budget before you even get off. Start with Ticket to Work. Do a budget of everything that you need, and then go from there. Because if you don't, you will set yourself up for failure, and you won't even know why. It's because of lack of a vision for what you want to do when you exit. Because you're trying to exit off the program, and you don't want to be able to have to look back.
Why did you go onto the program to begin with?
I thought I had finished school. I was in the medical field and was ready to, and I had graduated. So it was time to, go take my boards and everything and work. Well, I ended up, the cartilage in my, like I said, I ended up in the cartilage in my knee. I lost a whole big chunk of it. And so I was riding on a nerve, and it debilitated me to the point where, it was just a really surprise fluke. But the idea was to set, my some kind of retirement plan, getting some, make sure I had, a house and everything else. And I just got tired of it, and I thought I was healed up. I thought whatever I was going through, it was time, It's not something you want to, stay on forever. You really don't. You don't, because they will find a way to remove you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've seen it happen. It's not, and you want to make them think, and you want to stay in contact with them about, well, I'm in school for this, and as soon as they hear about it, so they're all excited. I want to hear, because there's programs that they will help you with too. So, in relationship to school. So I was like, okay, I'm going to finish up my school, and I want to do all this stuff, and I have all these plans, but my health betrayed me in the end. And it was, and like I said, I was a day off. I was laid up, and I called them and talked to somebody, but like I said, it's such a bureaucracy. You kind of at the mercy of whoever. So.
Well, now, if you called them and notified them that you were going to be basically late or one day or whatever, then that counts, and you shouldn't have had to pay back the funds going forward with that. But, keep in mind, you still have to provide proof of that notification to them, which is that,
and the guy that was supposed to give me the letter and stuff no longer worked there, and it was they didn't want to track him down and stuff, because they don't, when you talk about the federal government, people get kind of sketchy, especially, businesses and companies and stuff get weird.
Yeah,
it's
for
like,
sure.
Like, oh my gosh.
Well, so
like I said, have a budget, a game plan, and a strong exit. You need a strong exit.
So, and just to clarify and kind of wrap it all together for the people who are watching, the bottom line, guys, is that the Ticket to Work program represents one of the many carrot programs that the Social Security program uses to try and get you off of disability benefits and onto some sort of full-time work. And the whole idea is that you join this program while you're receiving your disability benefits, and that basically you get to start doing some work, growing the work, and while you're growing your work abilities, you're getting to retain the funds that you receive via disability benefits. Now, let me ask you this.
Mhm.
When you were on the program, did they lessen your benefits during the 5-year period, or were you allowed to keep the entire amount throughout the entire 5-year period?
I was allowed to keep the entire amount up to a certain point. Well, when, like I said, you have to report how much money. Once you get past that threshold, they have a threshold, and I had got past the threshold. That's when they start deducting money. And I can't remember exactly how much the threshold is, but there's a threshold that once you get to that point, and they'll tell you too based on your benefits and how much work you have and how many hours. And once you get to that threshold, then they start deducting money. But you still get your medical and all the other stuff too. You know what I'm saying? It's worth it in a way. Even if you lost all your money, you still have all your medical and stuff like that to work with until you're ready to transition until you get your benefits from work and stuff like that. So, but it can it can be quite it's not as bad as you think. They don't take as much as you would think they would. I was kind of surprised. I was like, wow, okay, I still get to keep this much and stuff, so, and every little bit helps.
Now, let me help you this.
Yeah,
you went into the school program. Did you find that there was any
Mhm.
bias while you were on the Ticket to Work program, and while you were getting towards the end of the Ticket to Work program? Did you notice any bias from the people that were working at the field office as to how you didn't really fit into the normal disability program?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because they wanted to know how.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they wanted to know. They asked for. I know that's what it was. They asked for a medical report from my doctor. They wanted to know what my doctor thought about my. That's another thing. They'll ask you questions about that.
Mm-hmm.
And I forgot about saying that because they will ask about from your physician. Is this person? They want to make proof. If you got proof that you're progressing off and stuff like that. So that's another thing that can hurt you if you don't know. If you don't tell your doctor, well, yes, I'm whatever, but I'm still having issues with this. Make sure you clarify. Make sure if you're still having issues, let them know because that'll also affect your money getting what you get back too. And as far as what you can retain from your benefits also.
Excellent. All right. So email me because text is too small. Email me the actual document that you signed. I'll go through it, see if there's any new things that I noticed about the difference in the one you signed and the new one. Do you have any additional questions for me before I pop off the phone and grab the next caller?
No, thank you very much. You answered a lot. You gave me a little insight about, you basically validate what I was already feeling, but I wasn't sure. You don't know. Maybe it's just me, but but now that I've talked to you and stuff, it's like, yeah, this is something that they do. This is nothing new. This is their MO.
Yeah.
So.
Well, there's another thing too, which is that when it comes to this whole program, what frustrates me is that the local FO, the local field office people, don't have a general knowledge of what the Ticket to Work program is. And they need to, because it's like even the basics of the program aren't utilized by them. So like if you called up the 800 number or you went to the local FO and you were explaining your situation, they'd be like, what are you talking about? How could you possibly be doing that? And it's like you're stuck with just a small niche. And usually, in fact, the writings from the Social Security Administration specifies that you're supposed to only really sign those contracts for a Ticket to Work program with a regional field office manager, and not every field office has a regional manager. Like Orlando has one, right? So that's why you were usually talking with the same person as a particular special person, because it takes somebody who's trained in it to be able to do it. But there's another side too. The local field offices, some of the people there are amazing. They're super trained and they've been there forever. And then some of them are brand new and they know nothing at all. And so it makes it tough for people in the Ticket to Work program to really navigate, because if just to give you guys an idea, if somebody from the Ticket to Work program went into the local field office and said, hey, I'm earning all of this money and I'm still getting my benefits, but I have a question about this, automatically the people at the local field office most likely are not going to have any of the answers they need. So just kind of keep in mind, that's one of the difficult things about it's almost like you're in your own little bubble, and basically there's nobody there to really help you unless you get to the exact right person, which we all know when dealing with the federal government is absolute misery. So.
Yeah, and don't be aggressive a little bit. It's that, you know what? I don't feel like I'm getting the right, like we're having a connection and stuff, as far as what I need. Is there somebody else that can give me, give me a little more knowledge, or there's some documents and stuff? Don't be afraid to ask if you don't feel comfortable to ask. If you have to be your own best advocate. If you don't, you will lose. You'll be the loser in the end, because they're definitely geared up to do it their way or the highway. So,
yeah. Well, I'm going to do this. Shoot me an email with that. I'll prep it so that we can go through it next week. And if you're cool with it, I'll just take out your information and I'll go point for point through the whole thing and just walk people through it.
Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
That's great.
Madam, have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
Howdy, guys. So I see a lot of details here about Cheyenne. So I don't know exactly what she's up to tonight. Thank you, Paul, Joseph. I appreciate it. And basically, I know that she was talking about starting a new channel. I'm excited to see it. Last thing I saw of her was that she was having a lot of fun on Facebook. Saw a bunch of Facebook photos where she was hanging out with friends and things like that. So that's really good for her. And it would be awesome to see her channel when it does come out. She's got some really cool little video editing skills. So I'm excited to see that as well. But let me grab the next phone. Actually, hold on, guys, from New Mexico. Let me answer some of the questions on here in the write-up area, and then we'll kind of go from there. So let me scroll all the way up to Cherries. Mr. Walter Knott, my question is, how do you survive on the amount of SSI 794 they give? You actually really can't. You have to share rooms with people or be in a program, because most rental can't work out because it's not enough money to go ahead and do that. You have to basically every single week create an Excel sheet on what kind of things you're going to be able to buy, what you can't buy. If you need glasses, it's a big deal. If you need any specialty stuff that's not covered by anything, it's a huge ordeal. It's basically living in an extreme version of poverty. It's like whatever you want to call is in between about to be homeless and homeless. That's pretty much what SSI equates to. Biden intends to go ahead and raise that, which I'm really excited about. I made a video promoting the aspects of that he's coming up with. But can we all just be honest about this? You can't really live in most places of America without having $1,000 as like a base minimum, right? Without having $1,000 as base minimum, you pretty much can't make it happen. Now, there's some super, super cheap areas to live, like, some of the spots in the South, some of the spots in the Northwest. There's some super cheap places to live. But even so, you can't take $1,000 to California and live. You can't take $1,000 to New York and live unless you're in some really, really sick. And that's part of the problem, is that it's just not acceptable. It is not equitable. It is just not an honest figure to give somebody just less than $800 a month and expect that person to be able to live. There's a video that's going to be coming out. It's going to be controversial. I know that. I understand that. But it's going to be coming out explaining the types of people who live on SSI and the hardships that they experience. I know today, just before we did this whole live, a video came out as to the 10 logic steps that people who hate the disabled use to validate their opinions. I'm starting to get deeper and deeper into the psyche of you guys. And the reason why I'm doing that is that, yes, it's great to put the law on here. And I do that all the time. I give you guys law videos all the time. But I think it's more important for us to start to do an analysis as to why the disabled think about suicide so much when they are not traditionally suicidal. I think it's important to ask the question of, why is it that we punish a person with such little money? And you could say, well, we're giving them money and that makes it better. But think about this. Let me ask you this. Let's imagine a person gets into a car accident. Let's say we've got a person named Linda. Linda gets into a car accident. And as a result of that, Linda, unfortunately, is disabled. She's no longer able to work at her $50,000 a year job that she had. And she's now forced to basically live on essentially a very small amount of income. And that amount of income is, let's say she's Ssdi. Let's say it's just $1,200 or $1,100. Or let's say Linda didn't have any jobs before, had very limited work history because she was a mom, and now she got a divorce, and now she's only able to get $794 a month. This person is living on an extremely small amount of money. An extremely small amount of money for no fault of their own. Now, you might be thinking, hey, that's why we have PI attorneys. That's why we have these personal injury attorneys that are going to get them big mega bucks. Please let me explain to you the great harm of these personal injury law firms. You're not going to like when you hear this, but you need to know it. Some of you have already been through it, and you don't even realize the extent of it. One law firm in most cities owns most of the advertising personal injury law firms. Down here in Florida, one law firm, Morgan & Morgan, owns many of the other law firms that are in this area. He's got the whole big new thing where it's like, bigger's better, we're massive, and he's making that argument. You could also make that counter argument of, well, how good is the burger at McDonald's? And I want to point something out to you. When they gauge schools, right, when U.S. leadership in school and yada yada comes, when the magazine comes out, and I just got it in the mail, but I don't read it anymore because it doesn't matter to me. When the magazine comes out to rank schools, the number one factor that defines how good a school is for somebody, the number one factor that defines how good a law firm is for a client, is how much money they spend per client. That's how much time is the attorney spending with them. That's how much time are they spending on experts. That's how much time are they spending on buying medical records. That's how much time they're just spending in general to get things done with administrative folks. How much money is the law firm spending per person? And I can almost guarantee you with absolute perfection that the big box law firms spend extremely little time per claimant. And here's why. And I'll tell you exactly what happens when a PI claim comes into a big box firm. The big box firm has a big, 20-page paragraph list for a personal injury gig. And what will happen is the attorney will hear the facts or somebody else, and they will say, I want paragraph 2, I want paragraph 8, I want paragraph 15, and I want paragraph 32. Those go into a letter, intro paragraph at the top, outro paragraph at the bottom. That letter gets sent to the insurance company. Insurance company then responds. They begin the process of, how much are you going to give me? Most of the time, big box law firms do not go to trial because it is not financially worth it for them to do the burger spiel. The burger starts here. We're going to throw some mustard, some ketchup, some pickles, and some onions, and then boom, give it to the customer. McDonald's utilizes the same theoretical process because they spend the least amount per client. They spend the least amount per patient. They spend the least amount per student. That is how you define what is a great company for somebody and what is a crap company. Now, number 2, the way you define whether or not a law firm is going to be truly helpful to somebody is essentially, are they going ahead and customizing the work for you? Law firms used to be all about customizing work, right? They used to write these briefs. They used to go ahead and basically, they make these beautiful things of law that we would use with these judges to create the future of how the human race would essentially interact with itself. Now, there's very few attorneys that do that stuff. That highly customized work, very few. It's only boutique law firms. Very, very small. Small law firms, maybe a mid-sized law firm, but it's very, very rare to come across that. Otherwise, it's, I want paragraph 3, I want paragraph 4, I want paragraph 15 and 32. That's the new style of law. It's all templatized out. That's the whole thing. So if you're wondering when it comes to big box firms, like, for my personal injury, the whole reason we have personal and we're talking about personal injury is because when somebody gets injured and they become disabled and they get hardly any money per month, the expectation is that they'll say, oh, no, they're going to get a big PI claim. When you see those advertisements, especially in Florida, when they're like, hey, that guy got me $1 million. That probably should have been a $5 million claim. That guy got me $100,000. It probably should have been $1 million claim. And that's the thing, is the general public doesn't know that. And I don't do anything to advertise the bias that's going on there. I mean, this is really one of the first few times I talk about those billboards. I think I might have brought it up once 2,000 videos ago that I've made, which is not good on my part. But the bottom line is, if you guys knew, it's almost like secret society stuff, how this stuff all works, you would be horrified, terrified. You would be sick to your stomach. You'd be very upset with the legal field. And then you would start to understand specifically why the judges are angry with the attorneys. The attorneys are, not happy with their ultimate work product, and the resulting output of funds to people is usually significantly less. Guys, remember back in the 80s and 90s, these personal injury claims were getting big money. Not anymore. Insurance companies have really killed that stuff. They've worked it and figured it out and beat it down, and they've worked with the politicians to make sure that you can't get in a certain amount beyond a certain thing. And there's all these rules out there now. There's another thing too. Like, had I gone into PI, I would have made zillions and zillions of dollars. But I didn't. I went into disability, and I pay for it every day. That's why I've got my student loans still, and a huge chunk of them. But I would proffer this to you guys. When you pick an attorney, the big thing you want to look for are ways that they spend money on the actual claimant that matter. Because if they spend more money, which equates to more time, more specialists, more experts, more customized documents, if they spend more time, that means a lot more money for you guys. And can we all be honest that attorneys exist to serve the client? That doesn't mean that the client is able to be mean to the attorney, because the attorney could fire him at any point, but attorneys exist to serve the client. Attorneys represent, they're supposed to be your smart friend on your worst day, which is your day that you're going to court. So, there's that. All right. Anyways, sorry. So the way you can survive, essentially, unfortunately, with that is not well. You have to go ahead, if you're an SSI, utilize coupons, utilize special housing allowances, utilize county, state, and local government benefit programs. County, state, and federal government benefit programs. You need to basically look into a lot of free resource options that are available to you. And usually, if you're getting 790, well, actually, it's going to be going. Doesn't matter. But if you're getting the minimum amount for SSI, the problem is this: you're going to have to buy clothing at like these local stores that have used clothing. There's nothing wrong with that. I buy clothing from used stores as well. I buy clothing on eBay all the time. I bought this shirt on eBay. The undershirt came from Walmart. There's nothing wrong with that. If anybody ever gives you crap about it, you can tell them an attorney knows wears clothing from a used store. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So you unfortunately have to go ahead and basically utilize every available option to reduce costs, increase productivity, get things for free, and use whatever the government programs are that you can get into. Okay, so let's see real quick. Let me pop over here. Okay, so let me just grab another question. I know I missed a few phone calls. Let me just grab another question because I feel like, I know that too. Let's see. John R., I was on workman's comp. I did have a settlement in workers' comp. I'm off of it. I applied for Ssdi and was approved. How does the settlement affect what I will be getting monthly? So basically, you're allowed certain leeways with workers' comp. And basically, okay, so Ssdi does not have Social Security disability insurance. So we're talking about Ssdi, not SSI, Ssdi. Ssdi does not have a lot of income restrictions when it comes to non-countable income, when it comes to non-countable resources. In fact, with Ssdi, you could literally win the lottery and become a billionaire, and then the next month you could go ahead and be found disabled and keep all of that money. Like, a lot of people don't realize the big difference between Ssdi, the insurance program, and SSI, the poverty program, is that SSI is all about all these really just way too low ball income limits, insurance limits, all these limits on what you can have. It's like they're making sure you remain poor as a poor person who's disabled. It's mind-blowingly stupid. I don't know how we got that way, but anyway, that's what SSI is. Ssdi is all about, hey, you worked, you paid into the system, you've done good for a lot of people, you're an amazing person, and the bottom line here is this, if you have income, we have to look at, and here's what you need to know. There's income that's countable and non-countable, and resources that are countable and not countable. When you have your workers' comp payments being made, you need to check and see what the contractual agreement is and whether they're going to be countable as income to you. And if they're not countable, then that's cool. You're good to go. But if they are countable, then you've got to watch out, because the problem is that if you have that as countable income, it can count against what's called SGA. SGA is substantial gainful activity. Substantial gainful activity is like the cutoff valve. When you go to the wall and you hit the light switch, that's what basically SGA is, substantial gainful activity, for your disability benefits. If you earn above that SGA amount for that year, then guess what? For that month, you're not eligible. So think of like SGA as the ultimate killjoy for disability benefits. And it exists for both SSI and Ssdi, and it's the same amount. So in that regard, you got to kind of keep in mind, is this a countable income option? Is it a non-countable income option? What you call it? Sorry, guys, I'm a little bit tired. But that's kind of what you have to consider with this whole thing in order to go ahead and go forward with it. And remember, workers' comp, it depends on what kind of payments you're receiving. Just like PI stuff, it depends on what kind of payments you're receiving from your personal injury lawsuit. Just like long-term disability benefits or short-term disability benefits. Like long-term disability benefits, you get disability benefits for SSDI, boom, they cut you off. Or if you're not watching, you get both benefits, and then you basically get hit by the insurance company to have to pay them back for the money you took that you weren't supposed to. And please keep in mind, for long-term disability benefits, something a lot of people don't know, and then they get really screwed over, is that when you receive long-term disability benefits over a period of time, so something happens, short-term disability benefits, then you go to long-term disability benefits, and you're riding that long-term disability benefits train. While you're riding that long-term disability benefits train, what happens is, once you're found disabled and you start getting your, you start getting your forward payments, the insurance company for your LTD benefits expects you to use your back pay to pay back, and also some of your potential forward pay, to pay back the benefits for those months that you're receiving. Now, not always do they take the forward pay. I've seen it twice, but it's usually from the back pay and retroactive benefits that you receive from each one of those months. And the whole point of it is this. Sometimes they can do these gotcha contractual things, but usually they're only allowed to make you pay back each month that you were receiving LTD benefits and getting back pay for each month that you were getting those LTD benefits. So basically they take away a chunk of your back pay, usually most of it. A lot of people don't know that. And man, they get screwed. They get railroaded on that. They'll get their big back pay check. They'll be like, man, here's my 15 grand. Life is awesome. They'll go spend it on a new car. Knock, knock, knock. It's the insurance company, and boom, they're getting hit with a horrible thing. Okay, so let me go to the next question on here. Love Pugs. I worked for over 15 years, and they screwed me when I went in front of the judge. She took every quarter I made, good money, and told me the expired. Therefore, only I get SSI, the poor person benefits. So keep in mind, Love Pug 05, the way it works is this. For SSDI benefits, which is what you were shooting for, you got to have 20 quarters of coverage earned within the past 10 years. And then you have to have enough quarters of coverage in total for your age. So there's two elements for SSDI. Element one, whatever age you are, you have to have enough quarters of coverage for that age. Element two, bottom line is you have to have 20 quarters of coverage within the past 10 years. All right, now how do you get quarters of coverage? Well, you can get 4 quarters of coverage per year. So if you need 20 within the past 10 years, that means you need 5 years that you've worked enough to buy 4 quarters of coverage each year. Most people don't have that because they'll have like 1 year where they earned 3 quarters of coverage, 1 year where they had 2 quarters of coverage, and then a bunch of years where they had 4 quarters of coverage. So that's the issue you're running into. When he said, hey, they expired, that means you didn't have enough quarters of coverage that were recent enough. That's why we have the numeric for the amount for your age, quarters of coverage element, and the numerosity kind of element, which is like, or the recency element, which is where you have to have enough quarters of coverage recently for SSDI benefits to be held. You just didn't have enough quarters of coverage within the past 10 years. That's the issue. Wes Kennedy, after talking to you the other day, started with calling Medicare. They launched an investigation into nefarious charges and lack of treatment. Awesome. The whole thing just shot forward there. Let me see if I can go back. If I'm on disability now, when I reach age to draw SS. Okay, so Penny, I think what you're saying there, correct me if I'm wrong, I think what you're saying there is, when will you reach retirement? I think. And if that's the question, it's a great question. So you have to tell me this. Are you on SSDI? Are you on SSI? Most people call disability SSDI. So if you're on SSDI, you're going to ride basically your SSDI benefits until you reach full retirement. Full retirement would be essentially, 66, 67, wherever it is on the scale. You got to look up the website and I'll tell you specifically when you can retire. You're going to ride that to full retirement. Then you're going to take your non-penalized retirement benefits at that point. Okay? And when I say penalized, I mean if you took it at 62, they would reduce your benefits significantly. For a couple of herniated disc in my neck. Okay, good. Is able available to all recipients? Is able available to all recipients? You mean the ABLE program, or what do you mean? Clarify that for me. Okay. All right, let me text this person back. Okay, cool. So, there we go. All right, let's go to the next person. Silent Universal Dreamer. I'm cut off. I was on 8 years SSDI. Okay, so if you're cut off 8 years for SSDI, just go ahead and reapply, begin the process, and then, I mean, unless there was a reason you want to call me for me to go through the details with you about that. I did hear something about offsets. Okay, that one too. Why they cut you off, Michael? I have SSDI. I can have a small booth in a flea market. All right, so if you have SSDI benefits, yeah, you can have a small booth in a flea market. But remember, you can't earn over that SGA amount because they'll cut off your benefits. And SGA is just, a lot of people don't realize what it is, why it's important, how it affects their Social Security disability benefits. SGA is for 2021 for a blind person $2,190 because blind people are basically allowed to earn more. SGA for a disabled person who's physically disabled or mentally disabled is $1,310. $1,310 for 2021. Now, why is $1,310 important? Because if you earn over $1,310 per month in your, flea market, little, like I'm selling tchotchkes and I'm selling this and that and whittled whatevers, then basically you become ineligible. Now, I want to point out something else. Most people in the flea market business are in business for themselves. And when they're in business for themselves, the problem is this. The SSA does not always need to go ahead and count your income as it's earned. They can count your income in a different way and give you more income. Hold on, I got to get this call real quick. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Null at Disability Resolution PA. We are live on YouTube. Go ahead and make sure you use a fake name throughout this process. And would you like me to answer a question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
I have a question. I got SSDI on reconsideration. That was a year. I've been on SSDI for a little over a year.
Okay.
Is there more odds of you getting one of those reviews if you got it on reconsideration or not?
So you mean like a CDR? Are you more likely to get a CDR than not?
CDR.
Okay. Reconsideration versus initial filing versus, well, actually, that's an interesting question. You are less likely to have a CDR at initial filing or reconsideration stages than if you have an ALJ hearing level where the ALJ specifies that he would like to see a CDR within so many months due to expected improvement. So no, that is not a level where there's an expectation of having a CDR right away. However, I just want to make it very clear, Biden does not want to have more CDRs. The SSA is pushing to have more CDRs. Right now, they can do CDRs at 12 months, CDRs at 24 months. They can do CDRs at 36 months. They can do CDRs at 7 months, or 7 years, or 10 years. So the bottom line is now people are starting to wonder: are they going to create a CDR option for every 6 months? Now, to create that, the commissioner would have to be on board with the president. The president would have to be on board with the commissioner, and then they'd have to basically begin the legislative process to push that through. But I'm telling you right now, Biden's plan, based upon his website before he became president, was to not have CDRs as often. Although, legislative-wise, they have the rules and regulations to have CDRs every 12 months. So the bottom line is, no, you're not likely to have one. However, if you wanted to know, you can call up the local field office and you can ask them when you are scheduled for another CDR. You may not be scheduled for one. And keep in mind, this may trigger the process where they look into your claim and then want to go ahead and schedule one. So you have to be careful with that. But if you think one is coming, you can call them and ask them when your next CDR is going to be scheduled for, or what month it's going to be happening in, or when the review is going to be happening, or essentially when you're going to be having that interview phone call.
Okay, I have one last little question for you. My roommate decided to go ahead and take Social Security, but he's also got a SSI claim going to federal court.
Sure.
How's that going to work?
So what happened now? When you say federal court, do you mean like appeals council, or do you mean district court?
District court. They're
Okay.
taking it. They had to go beyond that appeals council and the whole SS
Okay.
thing.
So basically, if you're an SSI person, your SSI automatically at the last day before you turn 62, transitions into retirement. So the bottom line is your friend has to go ahead and go with the retirement option because she can't get SSI at 62. If she's eligible for retirement, they force you onto retirement. So the bottom line is that old claim, she'll be able to get retroactive benefits and back pay. Oh no, sorry, for SSI, she'll be able to get back pay benefits off of it. But for each month going forward, right? For each month going forward where she's getting retirement, she won't be able to get additional benefits through SSI. So this person, your friend, has to go ahead and get on to retirement if she wants a monthly check, because the option of going to SSI until you reach 65, 66, or 67 does not exist. If you're an SSI, you automatically go into retirement if it's available for you at 62. If retirement is not available to you, you continue on SSI going forward. Since she has retirement available, she has to go into retirement. It's a she, right? Or is it a he?
It's a he.
Okay. So if he does have retirement, he has to go into retirement. And if he does, want to go ahead and at that point, he cannot file to basically go on to SSI going forward. He can only continue the claim at district court. If he gets a denial there, he can continue the claim to circuit court. If he gets a denial there, he can continue the claim to the Supreme Court. But after that, you've reached the last court. So, yeah.
Well, at least he can get the back benefits. That's all I was wondering about. So.
Yeah, if he
Okay,
wins
well,
it.
thank you
Yeah.
very much.
Absolutely. Have a wonderful day.
I will.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Call from.
Okay, here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott with Disability Resolution PA. We are live. Please use a fake name. Remember, we can go into doing hearing questions, or would you like me to answer a specific question that you have?
Yeah, hi, this is Junior, and I'm almost 62 years old, and I'm working with limitations at work, and I'm blessed that my employer has kept me on, but they're about to sell. I have psoriatic arthritis with plaque in my lungs. I've got 7 discs in my back with severe scoliosis that are 7 discs that are herniated. I've had 2 neck surgeries, suffer with headaches, and just wondering if it would be beneficial to get my disability or just apply for my Social Security retirement at 62.
All right, so I was actually, don't hate me. I was responding to a person's thing. Give me a short version of that again. My apologies. Go ahead.
All right, sure. I'm going to be 62 in a couple months,
Okay.
and I have psoriatic arthritis with plaque in my lungs. I also have severe scoliosis. I have 7 discs that are herniated in my back, 2 neck surgeries. I still have 2 discs that are herniated.
Okay.
I've got stenosis. You name it, pretty much in my spinal cord, I got it. So I'm just wondering, should I just take my retirement at 62 since I'm going to be jobless, or should I just apply for disability, or can I do both?
How many quarters of coverage do you have at this point?
Wait, repeat that again?
How many quarters of coverage do you have at this point?
Oh, I've been working now. I've got plenty. I've looked that up. I've got plenty. I got plenty of quarters to cover me. I was also on disability back many years ago because I had 70 pounds of steel dropped on my head. So I went on disability and then got off and went back. So I have plenty of quarters. So that's not a problem.
All right, so here's the deal. Okay, it's not as simple as you think. Do you have a pen or pencil there with you?
I sure do.
Okay, perfect. So first thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that you have 20 quarters of coverage within the past 10 years. So again, make sure you have 20 quarters of coverage within the past 10 years. So when did you stop working?
I haven't. In July, they're laying me off. So I'm not. I haven't. They're selling the company. They're laying me off in July, is what they told me in the last couple of days.
Let me ask you this. You've worked pretty much since 2011. You've worked the entire time, right?
Oh, yes, most definitely.
Okay. What type of job was it?
I'm actually a manager of radio stations.
Oh, very cool. Very cool, man. I was in the music industry. I went to Berklee College of Music in Boston, and it's a horrible industry to be in if you want to be an artist, but in the radio industry, it's one of the coolest gigs to have. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, here's what you're going to do. You're going to apply for SSDI benefits, and if you need money right away, then you're going to go ahead and apply for retirement as well. You're basically going to be killing any opportunity that you have for back pay, but who the hell cares? You're getting back pay payments every month from your retirement. You're going to go ahead and push to try and get onto SSDI benefits, because the moment you do, you're going to transition off of retirement onto SSDI, and then whatever years you have left to get to full retirement, 66, 67, you won't be penalized for that time that you're sitting on SSDI until you basically reach that full retirement. So for all those years you're sitting on SSDI and not on retirement, you won't get penalized for those. You'll only get penalized for those years where you got onto it at 62 until you got onto SSDI benefits.
Gotcha. Now, is it pretty tough at 62 to get disability with my conditions, or is it gets easier?
Look, here's the thing. I have seen, all right, a lot of people ask me this question, and I've never thought of a great answer, because to me, it's so simple, but to everybody else, it's like this complicated monster that eats people. And I get that. Here's the simplest way that I can put it. First and foremost, you have to meet the 5-step sequential process. So write down the 5-step sequential process. Secondly, you have to make sure that the severity of your impairments is damn close to the listing level requirements of element 3. Again, very close to the listing level requirements of step 3 of those 5 elements. And now here's the final thing that's really important. I'm trying to keep it down to 3 things. The adjudicator, the judge, the DDS rep, the MCPC, the medical consultant, the ME, the medical examiner, the VE, the vocational expert, any one of these people, these wonderful government-oriented or government people, can throw a wrench in the whole thing. So long as you don't get somebody like a judge that didn't have their bagel in the morning, so long as you don't get a vocational expert that missed something and misconstrued something, so long as you get a good shot at it, being above 60 is the golden era of applying for disability benefits. And that's because of the grid rules. Every 5 years from 45 up, so 45 to 50, 50 to 55, 55 to 60, 60 to 65. Every 5 years, it gets easier to be found disabled. But people at 60 years old go, I don't have to worry about anything. It's easy to get on disability benefits. No, all right, so let me ask you some basic questions here. Do you mind if I beat you up like a judge would on a nice day?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So let's run some quick hearing questions. Let's have a little fun, because, this is apparently fun. Good sir, go ahead and use your fake name. What's your fake name for the record?
Junior Rodriguez.
Date of birth and current age?
8/28/1959. 61 and several months.
Excellent. Good sir. Can you explain to me, what are your top 5 most severe impairments?
Back pain, neck pain, trouble breathing, headaches, severe headaches, and just problems dealing with people at this point because of the pain.
So good, so walk me through this. So you've got pain, and now look, normally I'd beat the hell out of you with that one, because look, pain is not the impairment. It's just not. That's like the result. It's a symptom of it. So give me the diagnostic impressions, because in order for me to teach you this next part, I need you to get this part right. So good sir, what are the top 5 diagnostic medical impressions, like the bullet points of the conditions you have? What are the top 5 impairments that you have?
I would think spinal cord injury would be number 1. Scoliosis. Basically anything to do with the spine And because of that, traumatic, I've been told I have a traumatic brain injury, and I've gotten the doctor to put that in writing. So all of that stuff. I mean, the psoriatic arthritis is also problematic because it makes you fatigue and, brings on other problems, especially since it's in my lungs now.
Okay. Let's run it again real quick. Bullet points. What are your top 5 most severe impairments? Give me the list. Here we go.
Number 1, problems, being able to get around, maneuver because of, the spinal cord injuries that I've had. I've had multiple spinal cord injuries.
Mm-hmm.
And then would come, headaches. There are days that I can't perform my job because, number 1, I can't even go into work because of the severe headaches that is brought on by spinal cord injuries.
Okay, so spinal. All right, now I'm not hearing any mental. I'm not hearing any weight-bearing joint issues. I'm not hearing any potential.
No, I mean, I definitely have joint issues. I mean, if I have, 7 discs that are herniated in my back, that, of course that's part of it. And I mean, I go to doctors every month. So, I mean, I've got my doctor's records. I just had neck surgery in August. That would be my 2nd neck surgery.
Okay, so, all right. Something tells me you have a respiratory issue as well. Is there something going on with your lungs?
Yes.
Oh, God, I'm getting good at this job. What's going on with your lungs?
I have psoriatic arthritis with plaque in my lungs.
Oh, okay. We talked about, okay, yeah, all right, gotcha. All right. That was all right. Talk to me about your knees.
My knees are really not an issue.
Okay.
It's more just back, neck, and lungs and headaches.
Okay. All right. So, okay, we have those details. So these are pretty severe, correct? I mean, these are things that limit you to the point. Okay. So, and your job's basically, they're firing you at this point. They're getting rid of you, correct?
Right. Exactly.
Okay. So, what kind of ambulatory devices are you using?
Cane.
Okay. So, this cane, how often do you use it? Do you use it all the time or not really that much?
Every day.
Every day. Okay. How many canes do you have?
I have 3 different canes.
Got 3 different canes. What's different between them?
My kids have given me canes for Christmas presents and birthday gifts and that type of stuff. So they're not really any different. They're just sentimental.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. Why don't you need like a wheelchair if you've got all these back problems?
I guess I'm not there yet.
Oh God, if you were my client, I would shake you with knowledge and be like, you need to know that. Yeah. Now you tell me why that was a bad answer.
Well, that's a bad answer because, but in truth, do I really need to be in a wheelchair to be completely disabled?
No, absolutely not. But I went to the extreme to pull out of you the fact that you were going to say that you're not that bad. And you walked right into it. And the judges do that all the time. And here's the follow-up to that. You don't need a wheelchair. It sounds like you've got a cane. Do you need a walker or something like that? No, I don't use a walker. All right, so how are you with stairs? Well, if I use my cane, I can get up and down the stairs. Okay, so what about driving? Any difficulty with that? Well, I can drive pretty good. And then we start to develop where you're at. And the thing is this, you got to be careful with what you say on those forms. And please, 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 look inside your soul and see if a walker with a seat would help you. You know, do you have any issues
Right.
with balance, perhaps?
No, definitely. I broke my wrist recently because I fell.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, like, do you have any difficulty with climbing stairs? Don't forget your lungs. Go ahead.
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Now, how do you have difficulty with climbing stairs?
What is my difficulty climbing stairs?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, usually I don't climb stairs. I'll take an elevator. I can't climb stairs.
Okay. Okay. So you can't climb stairs. Do you live in an apartment? You live in a house?
I actually live in an RV at this point.
Oh, an RV. What kind of RV do you have?
A fifth wheel.
A fifth wheel. My goodness, that's amazing. Do you have a truck that pulls it?
No, I do not.
You do not. Now, this fifth wheel, is this a nice fifth wheel? What year is this fifth wheel?
It's like a 2014.
24. That's a nice fifth wheel. That's a really nice fifth wheel. Can I ask you this? 2014, have you had any roof leaks yet?
No.
Okay. Not that you know of, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. And is it an aluminum body or a fiberglass body?
Fiberglass.
Fiberglass. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. How many steps to get into that?
It's 2 steps.
2 steps. Now, do you balance
We
it?
made
Go ahead.
accommodations.
Yeah, go ahead.
We made accommodations to the stairs. So I've got a little ramp, and then it goes up 2 stairs.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you go to balance that RV, do you balance it from the front, or does it have the balance options in the back? How does that work?
To pull it? Or?
No, just to balance it on the ground.
Oh, it balances from the front and back.
Yeah. Okay. Is it button operated, or do you have to go ahead and wind it?
No, it's all mechanical.
It's all mechanical. Okay. How often do you have to go ahead and stabilize it?
They came and set it up for me. I haven't done anything to it.
So it's been on stable ground for the past 7 years?
No, we just moved in here in the last year.
Okay. All right. Are you starting to see how this stuff can go?
Oh, I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. Just be careful. Be aware. A lot of the questions on the forums, especially the 3373, watch out for the person filling out the 3380, which is the third-party version of the 3373, which is the functional stuff. Can you get along with others? How do you handle, your daily activities? Do you have any cats, dogs, etc.? Watch out with that form, because that form I see more so than any form, other than maybe the 3369, but more so than any form, I see quotes from that form, the residual functional capacity, your adult do stuff throughout the day form. I see more quotes with the administrative law judges for that form in decisions than any other form that you will fill out for the Social Security Administration. And the reason is you fill that puppy out 3 months into the usual application, maybe 2 months, maybe 4 months. And when you do that, those statements come almost always back to haunt people. So is it easier to be found disabled at 60 plus? In your case, 61 in a couple months? Yes. Can you have an issue? Absolutely. So my response to you is, if you feel like you can do it on your own, please, 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 please make sure you learn as much as you can online and then attack that thing. Okay?
Okay.
Perfect. Good,
Will
sir.
do.
Do you have any other questions for me?
Hey,
Yeah.
I appreciate the help, and so that's the direction I think I'm gonna end up going. My plan all along was I'd work until I'm 67, but it's just in 2015 I fell off a building, and in 2017 I got involved in a car accident, and one thing's led to another, and it's hell getting old.
Yeah. A lot of people, they don't realize, and especially it's the younger generations, they don't realize that when you get to a certain age, you can't move as fast. If you do move too quickly, you can injure yourself. You won't be able to go ahead and stay up all night to go ahead and do the job. And that the reason why, people who are older make more usually is because they have the experience to do it correctly, consistently. But the problem that people don't realize is that a disabled person or person that has back issues or any issue has a difficult time doing something consistently as well as they used to be able to do it. And that's the main big thing, So, all right.
Great.
Good, sir.
I appreciate you.
You as well, good sir. Have a wonderful night. And any additional questions, don't be afraid to reach out.
All right. I thank you.
Thank you, good sir. Bye-bye. Okay, guys. Good. Let's see. All right, I missed a couple of phone calls here. I'm going to try and just call people back. Let's see what we got here. Okay, and I'm going to answer this one real quick on the phone. Well, actually, that way they don't say their name specifically. And then from there, I'll go ahead and put them on the speakerphone, and then we'll be able to hear the person. So give me una segunda. Says calling. Let's see what we got. But it's not ringing. Howdy, madam. Let me put us on speakerphone real quick. Make sure you use the fake name. And also, very important, whatchamacallit, would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and run hearing questions with you?
No, a specific question.
Perfect. I'm ready.
Okay. I am 100% blind.
Okay.
In the dark.
Okay.
It took me 17 years to get benefits. I applied in 2 separate states, was denied at a hearing level at 2 separate states. They now are they just sent me a letter saying I was approved in 2014. However, I never started receiving benefits until 2017. And they are still taking every year money out, the cap, $6,000 for each attorney. So, $12,000 every year is going for, since I started to receive actual benefits, 2017. And I can't make it stop. And me being blind does not make me stupid.
So walk me through this in more detail. It sounds like you've been going through hell for a really long time. Then you were found disabled. You're saying the attorney's fees are still being paid?
Yes. Since 2001, I was unable to work due to a genetic eye disorder. I was born sighted 2020, and this is a progressive disease, but now I'm in the dark. So I applied in 2001, and nothing happened. I reapplied this again in 2011, right around there, and was denied.
Okay.
And then I moved to another state.
Okay.
Now, when I was in the other state, the other claim got denied. Apparently, it just got denied, and I was living in another state. And they asked me if I had any other disabilities, and I said, because I initially claimed mental, because I have a serious mental disorders.
Okay.
And I never even thought of my blindness as a disorder like a dumbass. So when I applied again, of course, I got up to the hearing level and was finally approved for being blind.
Okay.
And it's kind of hard to not say you're blind. You're blind. There's a test to prove that. So I did wait for 3 years, finally got my random, here we go, $800 a month, whoopee, but that's a lot for me.
Sure.
Since 17 years, I had nothing. So I'm in subsidized housing, and they're taking, I just went to the tax person yesterday because I said, well, God, I'll start a business, anything to generate some income that I can prove to get more benefits. And randomly, Social Security will just throw on some money on my account, my Direct Express card. Just random. And then they'll raise my SSI, and then they'll lower it. Then they'll raise it, they'll lower it. It's just, there is absolutely there's nothing to prove, nothing to write. I don't have an advocate. I have nothing. And they're like, well, you're getting benefits, so, you should be happy. Screw you. Bye. And I'm just, I don't even know what to do.
So, okay, let me ask you this. What are you currently receiving? Like, what's the actual amount? At 800, so I'm guessing probably like 793, 794, somewhere around there.
Okay, so my SSD is $632, and my SSI ranges from $109 up to $291 as it is right now.
Okay, so you get a hybrid allowance, SSI, SSDI, so Title 2, Title 16 hybrid, T2 plus T16.
So it's usually between 803 and 900 and something.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, so next thing is, all right, now you said they raise it and lower it without reason. What? And I know you can't, you're blind. What do the forms say? Like, does somebody read to you the forms that they send you about, what they're doing with your benefits?
They give me CD form, and I also, that's my business, is I teach people Braille and get resources for blind people. So the fact I can't get my own resources is kind of weird, but I've done everything, and I'm not going to do anything illegal, and I'm afraid. It seems like I am in subsidized housing that I waited 7 years to get. Now, if it wasn't for me paying only $179 for rent, I'd never be able to survive. I lived in every transitional living house here in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas has been hit hard. So yeah, I was paying $650 a month and living in a house with 15 people, guys, girls, everything. It was just disgusting. And now I have my own place, and I don't know. It just seems like maybe that's the law of the universe. I give out, I get back more. So, I mean, I'm not dying out here. I do have food stamps. I do have whatever public stuff I'm allowed to have. But, people are talking PTTs and EIDLs and this and that. And the other. I'm like, God, I've had a business since I was 12, I just don't know what to do. Nobody will give me anything. No answers. The Social Security offices are closed here. They won't even talk to me on the phone.
So, all right, I'm going to give you a list of questions I need you to ask the local SSA. If you can't get through to the local field office, have you contacted the 800 number?
I have, and I have supposedly I've got an advocate that I call every single day and leave a message. Their 1-800 number is just, I'm lucky if I get in at 7 in the morning and put in a queue that never gets answered. So I've given up on them. I've called the IRS. I've called Treasury. I mean, I have gone to if I could call the Messiah, I would. But, I'm blind, and I have to have a guide. I have to have, there's expenses for this. I don't even have a Vince Neal of Motley Crue that asked if he'd be my PCA. Because he's my neighbor. I mean, it's just crazy.
So now you know the rule, right? Where you earn significantly more than any other disabled impairment type of person because you're blind, correct?
That is correct. I
Okay.
do get some sort of allotment for being blind. However, I don't see any allotment coming through.
Now, you said, do you donate your time, or do you have a business where you're teaching people Braille?
I do have a business where I teach each other Braille, but I just got my I didn't know that you had to have a small business license, so I just got my EIN number March 1st.
Okay, cool.
Because I've been doing this my whole life.
Okay.
So I should have just had a nonprofit or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to set up a nonprofit, pay yourself a salary, basically, take on whatever donations you can. And the bottom line here is you can earn, quite a chunk per month in extra under SGA. Now, remember, with SGA, with SSI, so your SSDI, it doesn't really matter how much you earn per month. But your SSI, you're a hybrid allowance. You got SSI and SSDI. For every dollar, for every $2 over $85 that you earn, they can take away $1. So you're working and they'll be reducing. So, if you earn, let's say, $87, then they can take away essentially $1 from your SSI benefits. So just keep in mind.
Yeah, and that's what the tax lady said yesterday.
So the bottom line so the bottom line here is, look, now there's another side of this too, okay? while you are, so when they do the averaging calculation, right, to see what your SSDI amount should be per month. All right, look, if you wanted to, because your ultimate goal here is to utilize the law and within the system find a way to make more per month, right? Is that essentially the whole gig? Okay.
Right, and the thing is I'm allowed to make $1,300 something a month without it being, taxed or them taking any of my benefits away. But the problem I'm having is it's so random that they give me a CD and then they'll give me a written letter just saying that my circumstances have changed. But they haven't. Nothing has changed. I've been in the same subsidized house, that I've been in. My income hasn't changed. Nothing's changed. Food stamps haven't. Nothing. And all of a sudden they want to bump me up because they never did give me any back pay at all. It's all going to attorneys. I mean, how do I get this $12? I understand the cap on one attorney that won the case. It took 2 weeks. But the years and years and years of waiting, they're taking, each one of them is taking money because they each consider them the winner of my case. So every year, both attorneys, companies, huge ones that you were talking about, are breaking me. They're absolutely fraudulently my money.
Wait, so you're getting, all right. Are you saying that when they won the claim that the SSA every year is paying them instead of just lump summing
yes,
them?
Yes, and I have it on my W-2. Yes, it says attorney pays, and then it goes towards my income.
Now, is this because the SSA did not originally pay them when your claim was concluded and now you're on a monthly payment system?
Nope. That's just because I went in, I have a very raw, unfiltered, loud mouth. I'm well known in this city, the girl with the blind stick that doesn't shut up. And it's just, I walked into Social Security, sat down, and they're like, oh yeah, we're wrong, and here you go. Here's like $2,000. Just go away. Well, I'm only allowed to have X amount of dollars in my Direct Express account. So I have to take that out, if it's over $2,000. And they make it just about right around there, just enough to keep me satisfied, so I'll go away.
Now,
but
you said
they don't give me any.
Yeah, you
they
said.
don't give me any payment plan, nothing.
You said one thing. You and this is one thing I want to make clear. A lot of people who are blind think that they have the same SGA amount as all the other physical and mental impairments. It's actually not correct. Blind people are the only type of impairment that has a special SGA amount, which means you can earn up to 2021 $2,190. Think about that. You can earn up to $2,190 before they can kick you off. But yeah, but remember, I know, and the field offices get that wrong with people all the time. But remember, if you earn $2 over $85, any money you earn over $85, they can reduce your SSI amount that you receive per month. But look, if you're making a chunk, if you're making $1,800 a month, who cares? So let's say that they take away, how much was your SSI amount?
My SSI, it ranges anywhere between $109, which they say is the state allotment, up all the way over to $291, which I just received a letter in the mail yesterday.
All right, so it's peanuts. So all right, so
it's gone all the way up to, and then they just randomly put like $497 in because I did a Part C so I could get some dental. And then they just throw that back in and, charge me all this. It's just ridiculous. They are just a scam.
So here's
and the fact that I can't see anything.
Here's what I'd like to suggest to you. You have a company, you just got an EIN, you're about to repurpose the company into being a 501c3 nonprofit, right?
Well, I'm going to do that now. I was just sole proprietor.
Okay. 501c3 nonprofit, 501c3 nonprofit, okay?
Got it.
And if you do that, I will be the first person to donate $25 to your new nonprofit. Deal?
Absolutely, 100% deal, and I will put that in every Braille, translation that I can get, and I can always find resources in any city where there are blind people and are receiving benefits, because they told me $109 was the state allotment for me, and that I was not allowed to make any more on SSI, or else it was going to be going against, and I would be making too much money, and then they wouldn't give me my benefits. And I worked my whole life. I'm a retired biochemist, for Christ's sake. I'm not stupid.
No, I can tell this is a very bright person. I am aware. Now, here's what I'd like to suggest. Step one, I'd like you to contact the regional office. The way you look up the regional office is you type into Google SSA Regional Field Office.
Got it.
And I'd like you to pick, and I think you said you were in Nevada, correct?
Yes.
All right. So the way these regional offices work is they usually have 3 to 4 to 5 states per regional office. Find which one is particular to you, then contact them to notify them that you would like to go ahead and set up an appointment to start going on to the Ticket to Work program. Once you go ahead and begin that, now I want you to call your local field office and notify them as well. That way you've got the field office and the regional field office working in the same direction. Now the next thing.
The thing is, though,
yeah.
I don't think this is the clincher, and this is where they get me. Is I'm seriously agoraphobic, and so I stay inside. I've been robbed. I've been raped. Had horrible things happen to me. So I live indoors like a hermit. And for me to even think about working, I mean, I could do it mentally, but my eyes won't allow me to do anything, and all my body, I freeze up. I can't even be in a social situation without freaking out. So Xanax is a beautiful thing. So that's all I have to say about that. Yeah. I mean, I'm just so socially awkward that I just can't, and it's a shame. I'm this beautiful, 53-year-old, super smart girl, and I can't be seen, and I can't be heard.
Is there a way that you could teach students Braille through your computer or through some sort of other technology that exists currently?
I'm working on that. However, I have a blind center that I go through here, and the blind center does give Braille lessons. And I would be stepping on their toes since they are completely nonprofit, and it pretty much saved my life and given me a place to vent, because there's nothing like that here in Las Vegas. Nothing. So people come to me all the time, blind, non-blind, just to get resources, because I know where to get resources. I just know the ins and outs and the loopholes and the little hacks and tricks and whatever. So as long as I'm doing it legally, I'm cool.
Have you filed for state or county funding for special interests for nonprofits? Because if there's truly not something in your county that specifically assists those individuals who are blind, I mean, now's the time, buddy. They're looking for people to go ahead and provide services. And blind individuals usually help blind individuals. That's usually where the lesson of helping somebody comes from for that impairment. So,
right. And since mine was gradual and I was born sighted, it's like I have visual imagery and I can walk past a tree and know it's a tree because I've seen a freaking tree.
Right.
So it's kind of it's definitely a blessing and not a curse. But I've been, the advantage that I get taken of simply because I cannot see is just horrific. And that's what I want to prevent people, is not to get hurt, how to be out there safe and sound and working if they choose so, but being blind, and the blind center kind of covers that. So I will look around, and I will definitely let you know first and foremost if there is something like that. But if not, I'll start up my own company and they can just come here.
So I want to give you a list of ideas. If you have a way to record them, if you have a way to, you can always go back to this recording, but here is the list of ideas. Number one, I'd like you to contact the local city townhouse or the city government building that you have, and ask them if they provide any services to the blind currently, and start to map out what they have available. Then I'd like you to contact the county government office. Then I'd like you to contact the state government office and see what programs are there. And then I'd like you to reach out
So
to
local, county, state, federal?
yeah, well, not necessarily federal, because the federal you're going to be looking to just for funds, but the federal is not going to have a really good idea as to what's on the ground. And for this purpose, you need to know who has what where in the specific geographic regions that you're looking at. So, like, we're talking like the town, the county, and, basically the state. Now, for federal,
So the lower the income, the better, or no?
well, no, it's not. What we're looking for is to get you sponsorship by a government entity or a private entity. And here's the thing. A lot of companies right now are looking for potential write-offs with donations for their taxes. And you could be a person that creates a program based upon what other people have done, just make it a little bit better, that you can use through your nonprofit to go ahead and launch something to get people rolling in the right direction. And they would fund that.
That's a problem. I generate money like crazy. And that's what I'm so scared of. Is I'm just absolutely incapable. Maybe it's the Jew in me. I don't know, but I'm just incapable. The more money I put out, the more money I get back.
Well, that's how it works, though. The more money you invest into something, the more money you tend to get. And that's how it works. But let me proffer this to you. Look, there's not enough blind resources out there. I know a lot of blind people who can't even get the basic. Walking stick, can't even get the basic. They don't even know where to go to get a seeing eye dog. They don't even have the basics within their immediate grasp.
You're right, and I have all those resources. Even
if you created a nonprofit that just made commercials, and then city, county, state government, federal government, local, training programs for offices and corporations, even if you made a program to make videos, even if you made the scripts for videos that helps teach blind individuals where to go for what, that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. To take all those articles out there and then create videos that people can go ahead and listen to or even watch as they're starting to lose their eyesight, that's a big thing. Start to look into that.
Service animals are huge too.
So, I would look into that, because there are not enough resources for the blind. And the inherent problem is, I would look at also technologies that are available, because, look, we're getting into the self-driving car market. We're getting into...
Oh, yeah, Elon Musk and I are, yeah. He's my hero right now.
So, we're getting into smart houses. We're getting into printed houses. We're getting into technologies where they can go ahead and put a helmet on a person, and that helmet will tell the person's brain structurally, kind of like a bat seeing, with sending out sound waves. Yeah, so we're in that world now. So there's a lot of opportunities for technology, but the ultimate thing is they also have new corrective surgeries for the eyes to get people to be able to see with microsurgery. So I don't know what products you want to give.
Oh, yeah, unfortunately I will do all that because there's so many people that they do have that technology for. I'm just not one of them because my optic nerves are broken, so they don't, my brain to my eyes don't work, and my brain works way faster than my eyes, so I just can't keep up.
Well,
and my ADD, everything else, it's just like you mix a cocktail of craziness with actual blindness, and I'm gonna make a whole lot of money, and I'm afraid of that.
Gotcha. Now, are you Israeli or Ashkenazi?
Israeli.
Okay, so they just came out with articles, and keep in mind, Israel is literally probably 2 decades ahead of everybody else in the medical field. They're literally curing fatal cancers, terminal cancers that we can't even fix in this country. But they have done certain stem cell based treatment for the eyes in Israel that have quite literally cured blindness. So if you have an opportunity to look into that, that might be something perhaps to consider checking out,
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got my family working on it too, because I have so many people, in that region, and whatever. I'm Peruvian and Israeli, so that's a weird combination, I know, but it's but you're right. and Israel's the leading producer of software in this country too, as well. So we just have a lot of smart people over there in a very low, little itty bitty place that can never be destroyed. So yay, go Israel!
So I have
I will look into this.
And that's another thing too.
I know you got 1 billion people.
Well, yeah, but I just want to let people know. A lot of people do not realize, and I have, I know a lot of people who come from particularly wealthy families, but there are treatments in Israel for impairments that can literally cure them that we do not have in the United States. And a lot of that is big drug companies. A lot of that is the money is just not, the effort, the energy, the money isn't there for medical treatment like it is in Israel. But
now, am I allowed to take my nonprofit and invest it in those corporations that are studying and trying to make breakthroughs in these medical fields of, whatever RP or coronal damage or anything? There's so many different eye diseases that, I can't name them all, but if I made too much money, can I diversify and just throw it into those businesses that are trying to market for a better future for our people that are not sighted and don't have those resources? You
could, but you'd be wiping out ultimately either the SSI at a low amount of income or SSDI and SSI via the SGA principles. So you could, but look, get a ticket to work program. Then have as much fun as you want. Make as much money as you want. The reality is that there's a lot of...
After that last girl you talked to, it sounds like you really need to get the right person, and because I'm smarter than most of them in there, and that's what scares them. I think it's like, oh God, here comes this girl again. We got to give her some money so she'll go away. And all I just want is just what's mine, what I worked my whole life for. I've got
to do a video on that. I don't know why nobody's done a video on it yet. It's just, and it takes a lot of time to shoot these videos and edit them. So I get that aspect. Remember, most disability attorneys are like,
I would do anything to look through a microscope again. I would do anything to drive. I would do anything to look at a beautiful man again. I don't have those options anymore. So you giving up your valuable time, which is the most valuable thing that you own, so hold it close to you. You are my hero.
Oh, wow.
And if for more people like you, my God, this world would change instantly. So Yom Tov, and you are just amazing. So I'm going to let you go to these other people, and you gave me a great start because there's 100 million things going through my mind right now, so I better get them down on paper.
Perfect. But I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful night, and thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Oh, right back at you. You are something else. God bless you.
You as well.
And shalom.
Shalom. Have a wonderful night.
Okay. Oh. You too, honey. Thank you.
All right.
Bye-bye.
So I don't know. I'm smiling now because you gotta understand. So I grew up with a Jewish mom and a Christian dad, which are obviously two very different sides of the spectrum. But I'm smiling. I was the president of the Jewish Law Student Association at Barry Law for 2 years. But anyway, I gotta get this call real quick. So let me see real quick. Hold on. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Knott, and we are live on YouTube. Please remember to use a fake name. And would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to go ahead and do hearing questions with you?
I love you for your helping the disabled. I'm sorry, I am one of the disabled who's having trouble with his brain. I have a brain injury.
Sure.
So I'm sorry, okay?
Yeah.
Let me ask the question. My problem is, okay, shoot. I may need to call back. I'm sorry. So sorry, Walter.
That's okay.
I love you, and I always watch your show. I'm watching right now, okay?
Excellent.
I'm really sorry, sir.
Take a moment, see if you can remember it, and whatchamacallit.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Maybe you can put me on hold. Do you have that ability?
I do have the ability. So what I'll do is this. I'm going to go ahead and, what I'll do is, well, I can add call and I can mute at this point with this phone I have. But let me do this. I'm going to call you back
Yes.
in basically, let's do 4 minutes.
Thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it.
Perfect, good sir.
That is incredible.
Excellent. I'll catch you in 4 minutes.
Great.
Perfect. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, excellent, guys. So I'm going to give him a call back. There's the phone number right there. I'm going to give him a call back in 4 minutes. I didn't answer a lot of questions that were in the chat. If you guys could put your questions in the bottom of the chat real quick, I'll answer them as quickly as I can within that 4 minute window. Let's see. Could you imagine if you came out like me, a Buddhist? Yeah, I've actually been studying, some of the other religious So I did a little study over the past couple of years as to where religion began, where it's at right now, the structural aspect of each religion. And the amazing thing are the things that tie between your traditional paganism going into Christianity, going into Judaism, going into Christianity, going into each one that comes thereafter, because they all have similar storylines, and you can actually find veins that interlink with each other. And all the saviors have similar powers, and it's interesting. It's almost like looking at superhuman powers that you would traditionally see in like a DC comic or a Marvel comic based universe, of how they split up, how each character has these flaws, but also these amazing gifts and abilities. And then there's one omnipotent individual. But I've been studying them to kind of understand a little bit better as the overall arc of religion and how it affects people. But either ways, let me check this out. People, while you were trying to keep doing the things they enjoyed, okay, well, okay, good. TBI makes it difficult to remember your name. It's frustrating, but yes, perfect, true. That sounds like yes. Some GBs at best. That's awesome. You know, some of the date calls for back. Can you explain the date calls for back pay for SSI and SSI? I'm guessing SSDI. So Molo, okay. Can you calculate the date calls for back pay for SSI? All right, Molo, are you asking me how to calculate the back pay for SSI? I think that's all right. I'm going to try that one. If it's not correct, then whatever, just correct me. Just shoot me the right question. So good sir, the way they calculate back pay for SSI is the moment you file to the moment you're found disabled. This month and this month, they don't count. But each month in between those months, we add up. First month, last month, they don't count. All the months in between, they count. Bookend months don't count. All the months in between count. Each one of those months, you should be able to get an amount. If it is the maximum SSI amount, you have to check what that maximum SSI amount is per year. Because remember, every year it goes up due to COLA, cost of living adjustment. So you take each one of those months and you add them all up, and that's your back pay. And then when they pay you that back pay, they give you 3 months worth. They make you wait 6 months. They give you another 3 months worth. They make you wait 6 months, and then they give you the final thing, which is not 3 months. It's the rest of the money that's available of the back pay. But if they're not giving you the maximum federal amount per month, and they're applying what's called the 1/3 reduction rule, that means they're lessening the amount that you should be able to get because somebody is helping you in some way, manner, or form. Somebody's giving you room to stay in. Somebody's paying for your whatever thing or this thing or that. Oh, we're getting the call here. So what they do is they reduce it. You have to see what they reduce per month, that amount. I think this is the same caller. Let me go ahead and get this real quick. Hold on, guys, real quick. I'm going to put it on the live right here. Hello, good sir. Attorney Walter Knott. How are we doing on the question? Perfect.
Okay, I remembered.
Good.
Okay, I'm currently on SSDI. Mm-hmm. Do I have the ability of waiting till 70 for the added benefits?
So the question is, can you maximize to the full extent your, okay, so let
Thank you, sir.
Yes, let me give a little background to the people in the live chat. So a lot of people don't realize that you can actually wait until 70 years old to get like the ultra maximized version of your retirement benefits. Right. And so what that means is this, for SSDI people, they usually require, upon you achieving full retirement for 67 or 66, then at that point that you transition over to retirement from SSDI benefits. So in most instances, no, you would have to transition from SSDI at 66, 67 to full retirement. You would not be able to ride SSDI benefits to the maximum amount of retirement.
I love you.
Yeah,
Sir, I've been knocking my brain around trying to figure this out, reading this and reading that. You are a wonderful joy of knowledge.
Thank you.
I love you, sir.
Thank you.
You help the community so much.
Thank you,
sir. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
There needs to be more people like you.
I appreciate it. I really do, you know. So now here's the deal. I'm going to pop off at this point, and basically I'm going to ask people who they'd like me to vote for, or who they're going to vote for to receive the $25 donation. So make sure you stick around on the live chat. And basically,
yes, sir.
Absolutely. I will catch up with you.
Anything for you, man.
Perfect. Thank you. So I'll catch up with you a little bit later, and have a wonderful, wonderful night. Okay.
You too, sir.
Thank you. Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So, guys, we're at 10:09. What I'd like to do is I'd like to go ahead and basically ask you to vote for who you think should receive the $25 donation. And basically what you do is it's from those people who called in. Essentially, you can vote for any one of those, and whoever you vote for, whoever gets the most votes, gets $25. And I send that via PayPal to them, and it's like the gift donation thing, and they receive it, and it's kind of like they're receiving a gift for being able to come on here, ask the question, and through that have me answer it, and then people get to use these videos as a learning platform. So it's like they're giving to the community by asking these questions. So okay, so let's see. Traumatic brain injury, man. Okay, gotcha. On the phone now. So the gentleman with the brain injury. Now, also, if you guys want me to, while we're doing this, write your questions into here again. I can answer some quick questions, and then basically we can go from there. Tonight is actually a bit of a special night because I get to test out my 1959 Chevy short bed truck because the carburetor just got fixed and the oil got fixed and stuff like that. So the point of the truck is to be prepared to be able to drive it and put a sign in the back for advertisements at like local, car shows and stuff like that. Big disability resolution sign in the back of it. But basically, it's finally working. It took a lot of stuff to get that puppy working. But the bottom line is, if you have any questions, put them in there, and I'll go ahead and answer them. And then after this, I'm going to head over to USPS and mail off a bunch of stuff. So I see the last caller. The last caller. Okay, perfect. The last caller. Perfect. Remember my disabled son who passed. Oof, that's tough. Dean Thomas, I'm sorry for your loss, good sir. Also, retired Sergeant Melinda, thank you so much for the donation. That was actually the second time, guys, that she made such a massively large donation of $99.99, which is huge. I use these funds to basically go ahead and buy dog treats and also help me pay for student loans. And so this is amazing. This is really incredible, and I really, really appreciate it because that is, in the sense of donations to this show, a really, really big donation. And it's just incredible because it helps me pay for things, and nothing's free. But I try to help you guys, and I'm hoping that it does work. And when you donate like that, it's a huge ordeal for me, and I really appreciate it. Oh, John R., you'd love to see a picture. I'll see if I can add a picture of the truck into the update status. I don't usually do the little update thingies on YouTube where you give a news, one of those things, but I'll try and add a photo there. Let's see. Last caller. Is it true that you have to wait 3 years after the workers' comp settlement before filing for disability? No, that's not true. You can go ahead and file for disability at any point of the process. Thank you. Let's see. Last caller. If I get denied at the initial filing, can I move out of state after appeal without messing up my claim? Last caller. Yeah, you can go ahead and basically move at any point. You can move when you just file. You can move right after your hearing. Like you don't want to move right before your hearing, or if you do, basically, you'd have to either switch judges in the new location, or what they would do right now, because everything's telephonic, is just have you go with that judge just from you call the hearing office. The hearing office calls you. You do your hearing with that original judge from the original location you were at. So in that sense, you can move at any point. You could go if you wanted to move to Hawaii. Always a good option. You could do that, although it's super expensive there. Just keep that in mind. Although a lot of people are on disability benefits there, a significantly higher percentage than most states. If I get denied in this, SPV1, sedentary, GED, age 50, non-transferable skills, I'm hoping to win this claim. Yeah, that sounds like a good grid out option. Just make sure you do a good DOT analysis to make sure, and SCO, that you're not violating any of the DOT SCO options. Perhaps Attorney Nana has a community page. I don't know if I have a community page. I do my videos on here, and that's like my thing. And then other law firms are actually now copying me. Other law firms that compete directly with me are actually now copying me. I saw the son of one of the other law firms, whose parents started the law firm that competes against me, is now doing live videos as well. I saw when you didn't answer my question. Mohican D, help me out. What was the question? I'm searching. I'm scrolling. Mohican D, if you could put your question at the very, very bottom, like a new text. I'm still searching. Oh, how much is if you become disabled before the age of 66? Well, so it depends. Like if you're on SSI, max is $794. If you're on SSDI, most people get around $1,200, but it goes past $3,000 at this point. So the bottom line is like it could be a small amount of money, it could be a large amount of money, it could be a hybrid of SSI and SSDI. Were you VA benefits for disability are stackable with civilian disability benefits, which are SSI and SSDI. Yeah, Cheyenne knows how to use the community page. I don't. It's probably a post button or something. I don't use it, but I need to learn how to use it. I think I might have posted on it a couple of years ago, but I'm not really sure. I have to learn about it. I'll figure it out. YouTube's super easy to use. Thank you, Retired Sergeant Melinda. I really, 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 really appreciate it. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. The last call. So do CDR stop when you reach age 60? I was told that they're not officially. Okay, so they technically are not required to stop doing CDRs at any point until you switch to retirement or whatever. But pretty much at 59, they start to taper off. That's like their last, our last shot at 60, 61, 62, 63, 64. You don't see them anymore. They just don't happen. At that point, they're just like, go live your life, have fun. You should get people to donate through Cash App so YouTube doesn't take any. I have a Cash App, and I'm gonna set up. I put it, and I started to do that the other day. Because for this is going to be a nonprofit, spaceconstitution.com. So I'm just learning how to set up all of the Cash App options and this options and that options for all of that. So you're right. I'll have to do that. And I know that they have all these cool video things where it's I can green screen out this, and I can have little timers at the bottom and stuff. Not that any of that stuff would really be useful for me in this sense, but I got to look into how to do that. I need to learn how to do that. Melody Dawn, I'm not a doctor, don't take my advice, but lithium orotate honestly helps very well with memory. It works well for me. It's not harmony. That's all right. Cool. Very cool. Can you please say again how we can delay being transitioned from SSDI to retirement? No, in SSDI, you just sit on that until you hit basically your full retirement. And then basically, but you can't utilize, you could sit on it if you wanted to, but you can't utilize maximizing to max retirement, which is where you go all the way to 70 years old. You could just sit on SSDI, but they're going to transition you at full retirement. So there's early retirement, 62 to, before you reach full retirement, 66, 67 for most. There's still some 65ers, I think, out there. And then you have max retirement, which is 70. That's where you get the maximum amount. But remember, you got to play the game. How long are you going to live? How much, do you want to take your benefits early? Do you want to take your benefits late? You got to look at this, how long have your parents lived? How long, if you're a male, how long did your father live? Your grandfather, your great grandfather, you got to look at those things. Let's see. Okay, so I saw little hands up. I see. Okay, I guess I'm a salami. I'm salami. Oh, wait a minute. I have a situation. Other side already offered multi-million. My attorney died. I think can be settled in 2 to 3 weeks. Can you handle this? 20%. Sounds like it's like a PI claim. Shared fee, obviously. Probably not a settlement. If it's in the multi-million, it's probably essentially going to be a trial-based gig. But then again, if you're saying they offer, that is settlement. Okay, so Dean, did this reach an actual trial yet? Have you had discovery yet? What? Email me the details. I'll look at it. If I can't help you, I'll still give you guidance on like what to do with it and stuff like that. Garden, continuing disability review. I'm guessing you're answering somebody who asked what a CDR is. Same note, if you're drawing state retirement early due to a medical accident on duty, can you get a STI too, or do you lose your state retirement? Ooh, that's a good question, and it differs per state. So Denise, text me or email me that question, but email me like which state you're in and stuff like that. No, you're not salami. You're sweet like caramel ice cream. Oh, Lily is so nice to Florida couple. Florida couple, by the way, if you guys don't know, is like one of the coolest people on earth. She's a really, really nice person. She also has a similar dream like me to go to Maine one day. So I just want to say, like if you guys like check in with me in 20 years and you're like, where are you right now? And I'm like, oh, I'm in Maine. And she's going to be in Maine too somewhere, and somewhere amazing. And I've already got my spot picked out. I can't afford it because student loans. Anyways, okay, good. Okay, good. Okay, so all right, I'll have to look up Arkansas and specifically see what the rule is. So Denise, just shoot me an email and I'll look it up and see if there's any differing stuff, because those state retirement pensions, they are tricky, and they are like, some of them count and then some of them get transferred into this federal thing, and it's like a whole big charang. And then also if it's set up through the railroad system, then it's like a whole different program altogether. So it's actually, I have to look it up specifically for you. Let's see it. I don't know, the money spent on medical care waiting for hearing, but if no person in hearings is a waste of time. But if no in-person hearings, no. Telephonic hearings are going fine. In fact, I'm probably getting more wins with telephonic hearings now than I did with the regular hearings. I don't know why that is. It just kind of is the way it is. Awesome, Joyce Gilbert. I love Maine. I think it's amazing. I'm a big fan of Mount Desert Island. In fact, I'd show you guys right now, but it's like all the way over there. I own one of the coolest paintings from Maine, and I bought it in Florida. There was, all right, any Mainer knows this, and then I gotta go. It's not a disability truck or Constitution theme. I wish it was, but it's a 1959 Chevy short bed, fleet side deluxe, big back window, big curved window, chrome bumpers truck. It's blue, and then the white little that's not a fin, but it's like the accent on the bed of the truck is white. So it's a blue truck with sparkle and it's white. The whole point was to basically use it for car events, for advertising, and then I bought it, and then literally 2 months later, COVID hit. That's been my life for a lot of things. It's always been like, I have an idea, and then it just crumbles. But that's okay. The life is like that. So anyway, mini Maine story. I own the giant painting that was housed for over like 25 years in the Bar Harbor gift shop. And I own that painting, which is crazy. And it's a beautiful painting of the Porcupine Islands off of Bar Harbor. And I'll send you guys a picture of it. It's somebody wanted to buy it from me for a chunk of money. And I was like, seriously considering, because the student loans are so bad, but I may one day sell it, I don't know, but I really like it. And I couldn't fit it in my Prius when I bought it. So I had to take the frame off of it and slightly roll it and then get it. That was before I owned any trucks. And then get in the Prius, the blue Prius videos. And then I brought it home. It was a 3-hour drive. That's how bad I wanted this painting. Anyways, guys, yeah, I love Bar Harbor too. Oh my God, I love Bar Harbor. Bar Harbor is becoming so commercial, though. That's one of the things that I'm just like, and then they had a big drug problem there too, which you would never expect from that. I do have a Ford. I have an F-350 7.3 dually. I think it's a 2000. Yeah, I do have a Ford. I just had to put some better tires on the back of it to actually move a bunch of disability resolution like, chairs and like live stuff or whatever, like that I would do the live events with, because, we're still doing those and helping out homeless. And amazingly, I haven't gotten COVID yet, but I follow these procedures and things like that. Anyways, guys, I will catch you a little bit later. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. I'm going to check in and text that gentleman about winning the $25. Thank you, Judy Blue Eyes. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful, wonderful night. And, who does special needs trusts? I mean, I can do them. I don't usually I haven't done them in a while. I could do it though. You just have to look up the rules and see how they change. There's another guy, I think in Tampa or Naples or something, who does them. But I don't know. If you send me the details, I can always look into it. If I get a chance, I could always write it up for you. I had a guy not too long ago ask me about setting it up and what he needed to do and yada, yada. And then he had a New York attorney do it because it was specifically for a New York case. It was actually, he put aside $15 million, which, and I just want to, one anecdote and then I'm done. And then I'm out of here. Here's the deal. Yeah. I have boats, so I got to use the dually. That's the whole yada yada. Here's the deal. Some of you guys are like, I want to put away some money in a special trust for my kids. I want to put away $5,000. And then some of you guys are like, I want to put away $50,000. Well, wait until you get the phone call where they rely on your services to tell the trust attorney in New York how to do their job for $15 million. Wait until you get that call. And you're that person that has to, what they have to do with it. That's very scary. That's a very scary thing. But either way, guys, have a wonderful night. I will catch you a little bit later, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much. And don't forget to, what am I supposed to say? Subscribe, like, and the other stuff. So have a wonderful night. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.